This conference will now be recorded.
You all can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just give me a minute. I have minimized this. Okay. To start with, I have 6 years of PEGA experience and I have done CSA, CWC, and CLSA certification. Currently, and in my experience, I have covered around 4 to 5 projects complete end to end. To start with, I'll just give a brief introduction about PEGA and this is fit for whom and what's the uh, current status of PEGA, like how it is in the marketing and different clients that are into PEGA and what you can expect and what you can expect from me and what you will be learning in future, all that. This is like, as I mentioned here, like Pega is going to boom for minimum next 10 years. That is for sure. They are going, earlier they had just the Pega and now we have Pega marketing, Pega decisioning, sales, and also like they have different streams going on and all the many clients are looking for, and it's not only for finance or it's not only for marketing, it has many other horizontal fields, vertical fields, say sales or healthcare, life sciences, and banking. Everywhere they are using Pega. And so what you anyone like here, whoever has joined, they without any knowledge, they can come and learn Pega. You don't need to know any coding. Only thing here is you just have to learn the tool and it's all about drag and drop, and you don't use any coding language here. It's good to have Java at later at senior level of extent, and it's good to know Oracle also. We are using some SQL connections to check the database data. That's it. Otherwise, anyone can learn Pega. And here are some of the just analysis I did, how the market is there, and it is going to boom even more because they are going to have more features added and client is looking for MLP. It's called most lovable projects, where they deliver the projects from 1 week to, and it goes on, and uh, the normal projects will be delivered in 90 days. That is what we do in our organization. And coming to salary package, here we have average of 1:3. That is mostly, if you have say 3 years of experience, you can expect around 9 to 12 of package. That's like, in package you no need to compromise. They'll give the best out of all the technologies that we have in the market. And these are some of the clients that they use Pega. If you see, I have worked in CIBC, HSBC, and NASCO. Like, not only this, there are so many other. This is what I have put here. And coming to where Pega stands as a CRM and BPM is, as you can see, it's at the top. Uh, it is kind of beating all other technologies that we have in the market. So clients also looking for it. And here is what as I told, I'll let you know what I'll be doing is and what you can expect. So these two slides say that I will help you prepare your resume, and I'll give you mock interviews. I'll give you the questions. Even I had so many interviews, so I know what they'll ask. I know what they'll ask for each level. So I have all those interview questions and how to answer them. It's not that just a question and answer. You should have that skill how to answer any question. So all those things I'll explain you in the mock interviews. And coming to certifications, I have some of the questions for dumps kind of for the certifications, because everyone know without that it's not so easy to clear. And um and once you get into a project, I can help you also to debug the code or help you with designing or coding. You can just share your screens and uh, like ask the suggestions. This is like kind of overall view. Anyone has any questions? And before you start, can you spell your name and then start, so that I'll know who is asking? Any questions so far?
Is it necessary? This is Avinash.
Yeah.
Is it necessary to make certifications before we are going for interview?
It is. Yes, I would say you're a fresher, right?
No, no, I have experience in this AV facility side.
Okay, okay. Uh, I would say CSA is mandatory. If you're a PEGA, then at least CSA is certification is what they'll expect. In PEGA, what I have seen is they will judge you based on your certification only. If you have, say, 15 years of experience, also if you don't do CLSA, for example, you will be still considered as senior system architect because you have not done the certification. That's how important it is as a Pega resource. That is like damn sure. At least CSA is required, and it is not so difficult to clear the CSA. Once you complete the course, we'll have the dumps, and once you go through the dumps, you can clear it in one go. I can help you with the institute and who can support also on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, going further. Now I'll introduce about the tool and some of the areas what I'll be covering post you join. And for I see all of you are new to Pega, so I'll go with the CSA first. That is the first certification and the course for it, and simple application which covers all those areas. And we can see like some of the, like I just put it here. What is Pega BPM? These are just to give an highlight. The tool is developed in Java and some HTML for the UI. And it is like a business process. Say Amazon, you go and do a order, then they will say you can see a flow, right? Order received, then packed, then shipped, then dispatched, then delivered. So all this flow in life, in everyday life, day to day life, all this flow whatever you do, you can call it as a business process manager, because it has some stages and steps where you can see at where you are at any stage. I We can link it as we go. What is BPM and all those terms, but right now we can proceed. So here, to start with, how you will learn Pega is you can install local mission in your desktop. Then you can have the Dev Studio, that is development, and you can work how much ever you want, except that you can't publicize it. So you can have the wrap and all that you can do, but you cannot publicize because we don't have the license. But coming to learning part, you are free to learn anything and everything here. And what else is required is we need to enroll for the PDN. PDN is course where PDN is a web link where we have the Pega Academy. Here we will have the courses for our certifications. We need to complete them, and there will be exercises also once we complete the course, and mark tests also will be there. Once we complete the course, you're ready for taking the certifications, say CSA or CAA. You can enroll there and select your nearest institute and write the exam. I think now it should be online because of the COVID. Yeah, so introduction to the tool. The tool will have four studios: app, dev, admin, and prediction studio. I'll show you what each studio is. Before that, I'll just give the highlights. App studio is uh, where the users, like, we have a client and we are the developers, say, and clients also are allowed to do some changes from their end, but they cannot do in Dev Studio because they don't know in anything in Pega. So it this studio is created for some clients or business analysts so that they can do their changes without having in touch with Pega developers exactly. So that's why that is designed for them. And Dev Studio is for people like us who do complex features and all that. Uh, Here also we develop and give them, train them, and they'll proceed from there. This is where only we will have the access post deployment. And admin studio is where we have some jobs and queue processes, all that for tracing purpose. And prediction studio is if we have an say, or decisioning or marketing, then if we want to do some analytics and what is happening in the project, then we'll go for the prediction studio. Right now it is like hard to get these terms, but I'll proceed with the application how we have. Okay. So once we have the system installed, we will get these files like this created on our desktop. So this is the startup. Once we have this startup, it will launch something called this startup file. And once we are done it, we can open this login. This one is for the shutdown. Sorry, the first one is for shutdown. This is startup. And once we launch it, it will open some servers running behind, and this is the login. Once I click on that, I'll come to this place, and here we will have this administrator at pega.com with a password install. So this is the Pega Designer Studio. This is how it looks in the administrator. Now I just have the tool. So here we have different applications. Sorry, here I have the application Pega platform. This is the base platform that they'll give. On top of that, we'll build the applications. So as you see, this is the base platform. I went to application and I clicked on the definition just to show you. And to give the highlights, as we just saw, we have four portals: App Studio, Dev Studio, Admin, and Prediction. We are at Dev Studio. If I click on App Studio, we can switch back to the App Studio, and here we will have different kind of features which are not so complex. We can build it easily. I'll switch back to Dev Studio because this is what we mainly use. Here we will have this is called Application Explorer. Here we'll have case types, data types, apps, and records. I will be going through each of these in future, but right now I'll cover case types and application. Uh, and here we can launch different portals. Say if I open the case manager portal, this is a portal where end users will be seeing it. They'll have the dashboard. They can see their cases. Suppose I'm the end user and I have created some cases. They can see all that, and they can see, if since I launched the manager portal, they can see their team members and if there are any cases assigned to them. I'll come back to this also in future, and just giving a highlight of the tool. And here also we have some configuration like application data model, all these things. And here we have creating the case types option. Suppose if you have any cases created, and this just gives the highlight of Pega, if there are any notifications that we'll be getting here. And this area is a guardrail. If you have any rules that are have warnings, then it will show it here. And this is what it is. Are we good so far? Any questions? I'm just starting the highlight of the tool. Any questions so far? Okay. So I'll proceed. What I'll do is I have the tool now. I can create the application. One way to create it is here in the configure up, sorry, in the application we have this option called new application. Otherwise, as you can see, here we can have just one click, it will open the application creation. So you here you can see different application types. This I have created some of them. We can build our application on top of one application to have the previous application features. Otherwise, we can start newly. I'm going to start with the custom application. So I will just give some name, say demo, and then I can go to advanced configuration, where here we have different terms. You see framework and implementation. Mostly we do our development, sorry, new applications in the implementation layer. We have different layers called enterprise layer, framework layer, implementation. I will again come back to that because that's kind of different path. So I'll right now create at the implementation, that is top level. So I will have demo as the organization because what we have here is the default. So here we can see application version, and this is the organization and division and unit, and this is the application ID. For now I'll save it and create the application. So our it got created. We can have the users added, and or we can have the new users created. If we give the email ID, Pega will automatically create those users with the password. I'll just have this password and this email ID saved somewhere. We can give our own email IDs, but it will send all the security code and all. I don't have right now, so I just using this. I'll have one more added, and then I'll click on done. So our application is created. We can see the operators here. So this is the operator that got created automatically, and this is the access group, and it is pointed to our application demo app. What I'll do is I'll create new operator, because if we use this operator, it would have sent a security code to this mail ID. Generally, if we use our mail ID, we would have got a mail. But since I don't have the proper mail configured, I'll just create one more operator ID here. Say demo app. And this is the access group that we have. It is pointed to our application, and I'll update the organization. This is our organization that we just used, and here we need to set the password. For now I'll make it rules. In Pega everything is a rule. Whatever we open here, we see operator is a rule and organization is a rule, organization unit is a rule. So everything is rule here, and I think we are good to save. Okay, we have the operator created, mapped to our application. What I'll do, I'll log off, and I'm logging with the operator that we just used. So we launched the application, and we are at the admin studio. We can have the dev studio. So as you can see, we are at the demo application. What we can, okay, this is the application overview. We don't need this for now. Here we are at. So I'll start creating case types, and you can see this application is built on Pega rules, that is administrator one which we just saw. All those features will be kind of appended here. We are building on top of that. That's why for anything we do, it's most of the things are already existing. Suppose there are, if there are any processes in organization, say I'll give an example. Suppose we are working, uh, building an application for say HDFC Bank, and HDFC Bank has some process for onboarding. Say some new client comes and they have a process for onboarding. What they can do is they, we Pega is already providing sample application for onboarding process. They can put that application here, and on top of that they can customize for each process. Say if it is a new customer, then they'll have a different process of KYC verification. If it is an existing customer, different process of KYC verification. Those processes they can customize, building on top of what they already have. That's kind of little insights. So here we have a case type. I'm going to create a case type here. Say KYC onboarding or onboarding process. And this will create app, organization and our application name and work. This all are in detail we need to know. We'll get to know once we go into the course. So as you're seeing, right, I am not doing any coding language here. I'm just using the tool and doing everything. Okay, we have our case type created. So case type is basically is like, what do you say, we have different for all the processes we have different stages and steps, and we'll configure all those here. And suppose now I say new customer and existing customer, there is a different uh, say process. What I'll do is, I suppose someone is coming as a new customer, and what I'll do is I'll create a onboarding case for them. that is like combination of case types. A combination of cases will form a case type. I'll create a onboarding case for one person that will create one case id. We can just see that. Here I'm adding case life cycle. Case life cycle is how the process will start. Say once we will have a registration, and here automatically it will go to the next step. And once we have a registration, say approval, it should go to approval. Then once it is approved, it might go to resolve. In real time we will see the same thing, but the processes and steps will be more complex. And here I am adding a process, and I will say I'll collect the information, say registration details, and I will configure what all we need in the registration details. Say we can have our fields here. I'll see the existing fields. Dot. Okay, let me give first name. Okay, for now I added two properties, first name and last name, and I'm submitting it. And here it will go to approval process. So I'll add approval step here, approve or reject. So as we are seeing, these are called stages, and these are the processes. Within the processes we'll have multiple steps. We can add parallel process also, and we can have sub processes. Okay, for now I'll mark it approve, and then I'm saving it. Like approval step I have added. We need to configure it. Let's see what we have so far. And once we have this case, we can run it. For now we can have the save and run here, or we can go to case manager or case worker portal, and we can see our case type. Any questions so far here? Are you following me? Like, is it too complex or too simple, or how it is?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I add the steps and how to add those steps? It didn't show that, so just want to see
Here,
that.
yeah, here we have this step, right? We can come here and add it. Here we'll have the options. Here we have this is called assignment step. We have collect information. Once I click on it, it will add say more details. I'm saying more details. And once we have this step, at the right we have configure view, because you in the assignment we need to know, right, what all details you need. Here if we click on configure view, we can enter the fields we can enter can be entered here, or we can use the existing fields from here. Say for now I'll add create operator name, last label I'll add. We can just click here, it will just get appended here. These are the existing fields. Date time, And then once we submit it, I'll show you how it is visible in the UI. So we came here, this is the case manager portal, and here we see so many other things, reports, documents and all. And here on new we saw our case type. Once I click on it, we should be able to see what we configured in the Dev Studio. So as you saw, right, we have entered first name and last name initially. I'll say test first name and then test last name. So our case is created, and then it should come to approval step. I didn't configure it. I mean, this approval step also we need to configure it. Let me open and see. So this is on draft on. Okay, this all I will come later. This is quite complex to understand now.
So you have to configure the BPM for that.
BPM in the sense I didn't get you.
The process, this approval process you have to configure.
Approval process is already existing. As we see, this is
Okay,
a OTB. This is all
BPM.
existing process. Yes. So what I just did is I added a approval step here. Once we came here, once I click on it, suppose I add one more step. Here we have approve or reject step. I just added it here, and it gets the behind the scenes flow and all gets automatically created. We can let me create one more case and see. Okay, I think we have problem with the other step here that we just added. Code is still. Okay, basically this is what we have. There is some issue with this into end users. I'll try for a minute and we can proceed. These are all like common things that we see now and then when we are doing a development. Okay, it is still not allowing me to save. I need to open the process and save it and then do all that stuff. This is a high level, so we can proceed from here and we can have more data created in the data type. We can, this application is what creates a class structure, and we can have the branches. For demo application we don't use the branches, but in real time we create branches and apply. And here are the different records that we see. So as part of CSA and CWSA certification also. What we will be covering is most of this record rules that we have here. As I just told, I'll close this. Okay, any questions you had in the case steps before I move to the other topics that we'll be covering? I know that was sorry, I just yeah. I this was, I can debug, but I don't want to waste time now. So as we saw, it created few case steps is what I just wanted to show you. Once we have onboarding, suppose for each person we'll have one case step created, and we'll be tracking that particular case.
Sorry to interrupt.
Hmm?
This is a application window. The application will look like this way.
Yes. So at the end, if you're an end user, so mostly when it comes to Pega projects, who will be using the end user? It's not the, suppose we use HDFC net banking, right? You all aware of net banking, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, mostly how that net banking is built. If you go in the left, we can see fund transfer and then credit cards, and we will see some offers, all that. And then once we click on it, whatever we show it here is what we'll have. Similarly, in here we will allow users to see, this is a process that we create, and we don't create some application like net banking. What we create is, suppose I go and do a complaint to HDFC bank, and there will be one service representative who come and who will take the complaint. So what they will do is, they will have one case created for us, say it's a complaint case, or even this onboarding. They'll collect all the details of us, and then they will go and do see what are the transactions we did and what are the fraud transactions happened, and then they'll resolve that. So all that processes within the bank also is what we develop here. It's not, it's like the process we develop, but not the uh, entire what you see as a uh, net banking user. Am I making am I
Yeah,
answering
yeah,
your question now? Yeah.
yeah.
So basically, once we develop application, what will have the application is that the process that they follow within the company. Say I showed you I worked for CIBC, and I worked for CIBC and HSBC, taking the banking example. So in HSBC, I worked for onboarding process. So who will use that onboarding process is HSBC employees who are working for their customers. And even CIBC also, I did a project on disputes. So I was kind of developing application for the dispute process for their customers. And customers in the sense who will be using it is the employees of that particular bank to have those records of their customers. And if you're thinking you're kind of creating some mobile applications, uh, like what we have, some games or something, you can do that. But in real time, what we do is this.
Uh, Kavitha, I'm just expecting something like that. It should have some login, some registration section
Hmm.
separately, which will let me access into the system. So that is possible to create, or like I don't know. That's why
You're expecting to create some app, and you will have the login and password, and the other person should go sign in
yeah, yeah.
and register. Yeah, all that is possible. All that you need to configure it here. That's it. All that is possible. In we have. I'll show you. We have mobile apps, App Studio. We have the mobile apps here. Interfaces. If you see mobile, we can configure all those and we can still use it, but I'm sure that you will not be able to as I told, you will not be able to publicize it. These are the mobile apps that you can create for Android, iOS, and you can have whatever built. You can like kind of use mashup and have your code here attached, but you cannot publish it because you don't have the license. You can use it in your local system.
Okay, that is okay. But if I want to create a web application, okay.
Hmm.
So in the those web applications, there are something like creating the means there are the login section, like from where the users can get into the application. So
Yeah,
I'm
correct.
looking something for that.
Yeah, so uh, if you want to create something like that, we have web mashup, web portals, all that in the App Studio. So again, there also what you will have is we will have the cases and case type stages and all that. So before you start the case or any case, you will have that configuration, and there you will give the XML and mashup code that is like a complex when it comes to Pega. I mean, I won't say it's complex process, but it's something where we'll do at LSA or senior, super senior level. We will not be doing it at this age. With my
Okay.
6 years experience, also I have never done that. What we do is kind of these things. But for your POC, you can still go ahead and do it. It is possible. That is possible.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions? I can go to PDN and show you what we have also.
One more question, Kavitha.
Yeah, yeah.
Like what you have told that you haven't gone through those things. Now, how the end user can walk into the system? Like they have to log in into the Pega Studio to work, or there is something
Okay.
else.
So what will happen in a real time once you are a Pega system architect or employee working on Pega systems, sorry, Pega technology, whatever we do is we do at the dev studio. I mean environment development environment. Once we have the environment, uh, we go and take this application whatever we built, that we'll do packaging here. I'll show it. So we have the product, we have wizards for doing all these things. For now, I'll show it here. So you see the product is already created. So you see the application is added. We can add other features also here, and we can create a product file. Demo product. Once we have the product file created, it will generate a zip file where you take this zip file and you need to import it in the different environments. See, these are some of the rule sets are unlocked. Yeah, once we unlock lock them and click on it, it will create a zip file that you can take and import it in the different up environments that you can
Yeah.
do it here. So you can have this configure and import. It's little lagging, sorry, 1 second. Okay. Yeah, you can see package export and import and migrate. So once you have the package, you can click on import and you can import to different environments, and you can see whatever you have developed here in so what happens in real time is it goes to testing environment, that is QA, and again use UAT environment where a few end users will test it, and then prod environment. So in prod environment or UAT or testing environment, they will not be seeing the designer studio, this tool. They'll not give the will not give the access to this one. We will only give access to them here. This is a manager portal. We can configure the portals however we want. Here we see dashboards and here we see all that, right? Those are all the configurations we can give it, and we can decide how the end user want to see it. Even if I go and if I do a live UI, live UI is like what we can have. If you see this tool and this section, this layout, everything we can configure it, and it's all in a click. And see, we just created this one, right? If I open
Yeah.
it, backend, it would have created a section rule. This is what we just created. What happened in the back end is it created a section rule with those two. It should not be that. 1 second. It py dynamic UI property reference. Okay, I didn't give the proper property name, that is why it is taking some dynamic property and it is displaying. Otherwise, yeah, backend it would have created that section. It actually referred the section. If I would have created one proper property name and given, some section would have come like this, and you can configure this section. Now I'll show it how the UI you can do. So I'll just remove this. So here we have different options like auto complete, multi select, checkbox, drop down, and we have buttons, links, all those things we just have to drag and drop. If you want to see a button, if you want to see a link, and if you want to add a text input, we can add it, and we can configure each of this field. Like here we can configure how we want to see the look and feel. Whatever we do here, again once we come back and we do refer that particular area, we can see the changes reflected here. And once we lock it, and we can move it to different environments. As I told, in the production, they'll not be given the dev access. They'll only see this end-to-end application, and they'll we will configure this entirely different. It won't be like this. Once we start the courses, I can show you how it is in the real time also, opening my application, but that's not that's confidential, so I can't share it now.
Okay.
And going to the PDN, once I search Pega PDN, we'll have this Pega Academy home. Seems like my internet is a bit slow. Okay, any questions so far from others?
So
If you
Kavitha,
want to know, yeah.
yeah. So that manager portal is the portal that will be accessed by the end clients.
Yes.
Like it's like a front end application for the end users.
Yes, and here manager portal is what Pega has given by default. I didn't, as you saw, I didn't
Mm,
launch. I didn't create any portal,
mm,
but at in real time we'll be creating even the portal. We will design everything here, how the portal should look, and we'll not just have the manager portal. We'll have the case here. We even case user portal also, it's default, but we'll have different portal for different type of users. Say if you're working in HR department, they'll see different. If you're working in, say, testing department, they'll see different. Something
mm.
like that. We will be configuring all that. This is the default what Pega gave.
Okay. So for CSA and CSSA, like most of the work will be done in Pega Dev Studio or admin
Yeah,
also.
it as a developer, we okay. Admin studio, we will use all the three studios for both CSA CWSA. We will be needing it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Admin studio is something we'll see. Like now I have one user and I have one node running, where the node, like where my application is running, and agents are something like queue processor jobs. In the backend we'll be running some processes like cleaning activity or sending some mails. All that we'll be doing it here. And we have some listeners agents, and when there is an external integration, that time we will be using all these things. But yeah, it is required now also. We can cover
Okay.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is academy. I logged in. Once we go here, we can see we are a system architect, so I launch this. We will have a different certifications. Here Pega certified system architect is what we start with, and here we have system architect mission. Once we click on it, before that, see, you can see senior system architect, lead system architect, and all that. Yeah, you as we see system architect, it is having this many models. I did it in 7.4, that's why you can see nothing completed. Yeah, so as we saw, right, app studio, that is what they'll show it here. How we need to start with the app studio as part of 8.4 version. Earlier we didn't have this. Till 8.3 we didn't have. App studio is introduced in 8.4. And yeah, roles of a project, again dev studio overview, what we just saw. Creation and maintenance of rules, we saw, right, creating a onboarding case types, creating a section, and creating a flow. We saw some flows with some decision shapes. All that are called rules here. And escalating late work, that will be SLAs. Attaching PDF files to case, again some decisionings. All these things will be covering, will be going through the course, and will be covering it in the dev studio. uh, but I would also be giving a insights of real time projects, because this course and completing in the dev studio exercises that you will be doing in your free time, but I'll just give a overview and you'll have to practice and come back. What I'll be doing is I'll give you the real time experience and how we develop in the real time some project scenarios and covering these areas. So I'll pick up this area, I'll go through the course and I'll show you what how we do in the like day to day projects. And I'll be asking you to practice the exercises and come back with the doubts, because anyone can do the course, anyone can go understand it, but what they want to see is in the real time. That is what I am going to do. This back end you need to practice. Any questions so far? Anything that you're expecting from me or from Pega, what you thought is different and what you'll be learning is different? Is it really required to learn? Any questions like that? But tool is really easy. You just work for 2 to 3 months, you'll just get hands on like crazy. I have also spent very less time during my initial days. I think I am kind of done with my demo session, and any questions you can come back to me now or later also. So are
How
we
many?
yeah,
Hello.
yeah, go on.
See how many training hours should we need for training for hands-on
uh,
experience?
for hands-on experience, I would say it completely depends on you, because um see, if you spend some time, real good time, it would take 3 months for see, you can learn in 1 month this CSA, and you can learn 1 month, 1.5 month in CWSA. But if you want to go attend interviews, clear the interviews, for clearing the interviews, I would say dedication of 3 months is required. Because what they'll ask in the interview is, they won't ask you what is case type, they won't ask you what is process. They'll give a real time scenario. I have this situation, how do you develop it? Because we are a system architects, right? We are not just doing some class studies, we are going and developing. So they'll give a scenario and they will ask how we will do it. So by that time we should know different approaches and we should know what is the best approach. I can guide you on that. But we need a dedication of 3 months for clearing the interviews. But for the course, it's 40 to 45 days is enough. Because even I had a friend like saying, he used to make me sit beside me. He was attending the interviews when I did the first change. So I kind of dedicated a really good time for interviews, because even I failed for the first 2 interviews. Then I got to know what they ask, and then I had my friend who was attending the interviews, and he was giving me the real time questions and asking me to learn how to answer. How to answer is more important than you know what is the process and everything, but if you don't know how to answer it, then again it's like drawback. So you need to practice for all that.
What in this training you are covering CSA and CSSA?
No, only CSA. 45 days is CSA. I can cover few topics of CWSA also, but not. It takes 45 days for completing all this. See, we have so many models, and since CWSA you can cover it in very few days, because by then you already know everything. it's just the extension of what you have learned, and that will be not so quite difficult. But understanding initially is what takes time. So it would take some time initially, because you'll forget, or you will not get to know, or it takes time to digest from what you had known before, and to come up to this area. Like, you think something in different technology or different language, and you need to, if you start relating it, it might be more difficult also. It's good if you come with zero knowledge, because you learn from the basics.
So you'll be giving training for 45 days, Kavitha?
Yeah. And while giving trainings also, I can cover some uh, while giving trainings also, I'll ask you to go through these topics, come back, I'll ask you questions, interview questions then and there, and then I'll ask you to develop and show me in your local. You can share your screen and show it. It won't be just I see, you might know many trainers outside, they'll go through the course and then they'll complete it. I can also do that, but what I want is, like, if I'm training, what I want is it should be like useful for someone. So I just don't want to train and leave it. I just want to see some results. So if I definitely want some exercises from your side. And if you don't practice after the session or after the day to day every day, I would say you'll forget. Pega is so volatile, you'll forget if you don't see it for 15 days. You can what I would suggest is, if you're starting plan, if you really want to join Pega, how you have to start is, have your resumes ready today only. uh, Take from Google, have some resumes for CSA, CAA, put it as CSSA, put it as CSA and learn for CSSA. Then you attend the interview. Attend the interviews. I would say start attending the interviews for small companies or as a contractors. You'll get to know the real time experience. Then you come back and learn. Then you'll understand even more. Otherwise, if you're just sitting and learning also, you'll not know. If you're just doing the exercises and not showing it in to anyone, or you can have your, you know people right here only in the section, you both can sit and discuss. Those sessions you can demo to yourself, that also you can do. And you need to start attending the interviews, you need to see the real time questions by yourself also. I'll be there to help, but you need to see it yourself. Then you will understand. Then you will come back and study. Then only you learn. But before that, you fix your mind that you are going to do it. Then only you start it. Otherwise, don't waste time. Fix your mind. If you want to do it, I'm sure you'll have a great career for next 10 years or more than that. Pega, these guys are marketing like crazy, so every client wants to develop really fast. Even sales and marketing is booming. Any questions? I give me a minute. Yeah, I think you can get back to the institute person. I will close the call, and you, if we can have the chat later. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
then
you.
thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank
Bye.
Thank you.
you.